computers, you can set it so it goes to original sound and stays there. Not on mine, however.
Well,
Maybe.
for some reason on mine, it's better with original sound off. I really don't know why, but my sound is off.
Whatever floats the boat.
Yeah.
So the next thing I'm going to do is share this to each of your profiles, which is one of the reasons, but only one, that I friended y'all this week.
Ah. Hi, Lynn. And Sally.
Okay.
Had you got the correct link?
Okay. And Mandy, yours is on the way. Ah, came up first. How nice. Here it comes. And we are also on YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up so that we can speak to people on YouTube if we so desire. So, welcome to Any Sunday Songwriters. The reason it has that strange name is because this used to be in a bricks and mortar sort of setting, and it was called Second Sunday Songwriters. And after we kind of went off the air at Kick Butt Coffee, I realized that no longer was I tied to the second Sunday. This could be any Sunday. And also, the best part was no longer was I tied to people either in or passing through Austin. So I would like to introduce the person who is closest to where I'm sitting right now. This is Gary Taylor. He lives in Buda, so not very far away. Most of us could spit to his house from where we are. Well, some of us could. Anyway, and I'd like also to introduce Mandy Woods, who is in the UK. And I'm not actually certain where, but I'm sure she'll be happy to tell you. But this is very late in the evening for us, and she promised to stay awake. And I'm guessing.
Well, it's 9 o'clock in the evening, so
No.
I've been doing some very much later ones than that.
Oh, okay, good, good. And I met both of them in the song circles that kind of took the place of being able to perform during this last year and a half. And I'm very excited to be able to do this. So welcome to Mandy and Gary. And Mandy, would you like to kick off our show?
Yes, I'd love to. Thanks, Jan.
Thank you.
So I'm living in Glastonbury in England at the moment, and you may have heard of Glastonbury from the music festival, which is actually about 5 miles down the road from the town. But I did live in Austin for 10 years in the 90s, in East Austin by Town Lake. So yes, and happy memories. So this is quite an old song, but I've just sort of rediscovered it, and I don't know why I stopped playing it, so I'm going to play it now. It's called All Along. You yearn for a lover to warm you on cold nights, as one more soulmate drifts by from some soulless dating site. You call in desperation, now that love has gone. Inside I feel frustration, 'cause I'm the one who's been here all along. For years I've longed for more of you, kept it hidden from your view, scared of blurting out the truth in case it all goes wrong. I'm the one you've needed all along. For 50 tear-filled minutes, you keep me on the phone. Sure there's nothing left now but to grow old all alone. Duty bound I listen to your tale of love gone wrong, but my heart isn't in it, 'cause I'm the one who's been here all along. For years I've longed for more of you, kept it hidden from your view, scared of blurting out the truth in case it all goes wrong. I'm the one you've needed all along. Sure, I wouldn't tell you, but I told you anyway. And I wish I didn't know now that you just don't feel that way. Each of us is deeply woven through the other's life, helped each other out in bleaker times. But friends becoming lovers, to you that feels all wrong. It's not the way you see me, 'cause I'm the one who's been here all along. For years I've longed for more of you, kept it hidden from your view, finally blurted out the truth and watched it all go wrong. You're the one I needed all along. You're the one I needed. You yearn for a lover to warm you on cold nights. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Beautiful.
What a beautiful song.
Thank you.
And Gary, what do you have for us?
Well, I've got one called Endless Road. It's the title track of my CD called Endless Road. That's what it means to be title track, I guess. It's one I wrote a long time ago, but have adjusted it over the years. So it's not the same song I originally wrote. Endless road, on he goes, and he knows it's lonely. And he rides, on he rides, till he finds a new road. And he thinks, as he rides on, yes, he thinks, 'cause thoughts his home, and in his thoughts he rides on. Oh, let him go, find another. Endless road, on he goes, and he knows it's lonely. And he rides, on he rides, till he finds a new road. And he thinks Yes, he thinks, 'cause thought's his home, and in his thoughts he rides on. Oh, let him go. Find another. Thank you. And I see at least one more person in my group got the late message, because there's my daughter, Lainey Beckham.
Hi, Lainey. Well, that was wonderful. It's a little hot when you get going. You might want to turn like the master just back a little tiny bit.
Okay, I was wondering about, and the difference, the setting is a little different from what I've done before. Okay, let me see what I can do here.
Great
Tell
song.
me if that makes any difference, right?
Well, we'll know on the next song.
Okay.
Okay. So somehow I am tangled up in chords. And Mandy, I apologize for forgetting to mute right after I said it.
Oh, and I forgot to mute. Well, I think you muted me for Gary. So
Yes.
we'll get there.
Sooner or later, yes. So I played my first live gig in a year and a half last Sunday. And Rick was there. He couldn't do his background thing, though. Keep an eye on Rick's Square, because he does backgrounds for all our songs. So, which is really fun most of the time. There's a problem with one of the chords, but we'll fix it later. So one of the things I discovered was my brand new bad habit, which is, y'all can't see this, which is a little hard to pull off on stage. So, and the person I was sharing the stage with, Beth Ullman, who has a new album out, and she has memorized every note, every syllable, every jot and tittle. And so I got to feel nice and guilty too. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so I finally felt guilty enough to sing this one. And now that I'm aware that it's a bad habit, I'm going to sing it to you. In my dreams, I always remember the lyrics. In my dreams, I never miss a note. I can make the rosewood ring, my fingers flying over the strings. In my dreams, I notice the kind words more than the harsh ones, and joys more than complaints. And I always seem to know what I can change and what I must let go. In my dreams, awake, I've a memory like a sieve. I'm impatient with those I love, and I often forget to forgive. Awake, I am bound by gravity. I take each step cautiously, and I treat hope like a liar and a thief. but in my dreams I can fly around the universe. And in my dreams I never have to land. And I'm wise beyond my years and brave beyond even my greatest fears. In my dreams, guess I'll have to work on me to make my real life more like the life I see in my dreams. Thank you. So that should take care of my guilt for today.
I know what you mean about relying on lyric sheets. It's just too easy to do on Zoom.
Well, and
a
also
live setting. Ooh.
during the lockdown, I've been writing a ton of songs. So, since I didn't have to memorize them,
exactly.
I, of course, didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's different.
So, back to you, Mandy.
Yes. Well, speaking of which, I put out a lockdown album in February of songs I'd recorded here in my log cabin studio. And it's called Cabin Fever because fortunately, I had a song already called Cabin Fever and it seemed to work for a lockdown album. But one of the songs on that album is this one I'm about to do, which tells the story of my journey down to Austin when I went to live there in the early 90s. It took me a long time to write this song. It's called My Companion of the Road. Greyhound bus to Austin, past left far behind. On the rack above me, everything I still call mine. A sleeping bag, a backpack, my trusty old guitar, the spirit of adventure carried in my hopeful heart. 2 days on the road to Austin, nothing there but music, I've been told. My old guitar, of course, she's coming with me. My best friend, my companion of the road. The cowboy boards the bus at Memphis. Stench of stale smoke as he walks by. Liquor on his breath from daytime drinking. He talks and cusses loudly through the night. When morning comes, we stop in Texarkana for some food. A short stack and cheap coffee never tasted quite so good. 2 days on the road to Austin, nothing there but music, I've been told. My old guitar, of course, she's coming with me. My best friend, my companion of the road. Those endless miles of interstate, they'll numb the sharpest mind. Nothing much to do but fall asleep, lose all sense of place and time. finally reach Austin, deep into the second night, before I even look above me, I know that something isn't right. The cowboy has long gone, and my guitar is gone as well. The bus drives off and leaves me in some kind of living hell. 2 days on the road to Austin, nothing there but music, I've been told. My best friend didn't make it down here with me. How I weep for my companion off the road. 2 days on the road to Austin, nothing there but music, I've been told. No choice now but to try and make my home here, without my dear companion of the road.
That's really nice.
Thank you. And yes, it was very sad. And I had named that guitar. I had a name for that guitar, and I've never named a guitar since, because it was too much like losing a friend.
Well, on behalf of the city of Austin, I want to say I am sorry from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, well, it was quite a loss, but it was my dad claimed on the insurance for me, and I did get another guitar, but I didn't quite bond with that guitar.
Oh,
But yes, so it took me 26 years to write that song and get over
wow.
the loss. So there we are.
Am I frozen?
No?
Okay, because I lost it for a minute there. I hope my internet's gonna last through the. That's a beautiful song, and this is gonna kind of. My next song is gonna kind of. I wasn't gonna do it next, but I thought you'll be able to tell whether I'm getting, if I've got the volume better with this one. This is a song I wrote about a month and a half after my wife died, which was about a year and a half ago. And we had been married for 46 years, and we're 19 when we got married. Last night I had dreamed you passed, that the truth was just a dream. And I held you close and you held me tight, sweet reunion in my dream. 'Twas a dream so real, I could feel your face, and the kiss that I once knew. For the hardest thing that I've ever done was to say goodbye to you. I'll remember you with some folks that you held dear. And we'll tell sweet stories of love for you at our favorite time of year. And I'll try to find all the peace of mind that I now know I once knew. For the hardest thing that I've ever done was to say goodbye to you. My heart once knew such life with you, and life with you was fun, and you and I were one. My heart once knew such life with you. Now I know loneliness, now I know sorrow. How strange it seems that the sorrow springs from the happy times we knew. But I'm grateful still for the love we had and the life I shared with you. But I miss you so, and I just don't know why you had to leave so soon. 'Cause the hardest thing that I've ever done was to say goodbye to you. Thank you.
Oh my God, that was gorgeous.
Thank you.
What a loving tribute.
Lane is-
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you, thank you. It's Zoom has saved me with the epidemic and then having lost her. I lost her right before the epidemic. And,
Wow. You know, there's been so much loss this past year and a half, and I know that everybody's kind of that while acknowledging it, they're trying not to think about it. You know, the number is staggering, and then there's the others. And before I go on in this vein, I would like to say that the prize for coming the furthest to see us has now been won. This is Philippa, who is in Jerusalem. We have actually met in Jerusalem.
oh wow!
Yeah. So, hi, Philippa. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Phil.
So, this is kind of a summation of all of that. I actually wrote this a long time before this latest stress because it was just how I felt about something at the time, but it's totally been okay for this too. An old friend stopped by the other day to open up the closets of the past so skeletons could dance from their hiding place, 'cause change is either here or closing fast. And we walked dense forests of memory knowing past today we didn't then, and listened to the soft and minor melodies, and sang our songs to absent friends. Perhaps they've received their heart's desire, where time's less than a shadow on the wall. And now that they have met the great simplifier, I hope that love's the only memory they recall. And funny how we knew when we were children that love has no beginning and no end. And funny how we'll seem to have forgotten until we speak of absent friends. I so love those dreams we shared together. I so loved our travels on the earth. Perhaps the dreams and travels last forever, as birth and life and death and then rebirth. So maybe one day we'll be reunited. Who knows what the universe intends? So raise your glass, raise your glass, raise your glass to absent friends. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Lovely. Okay. So, apropos of nothing really, I thought I would up the tempo a bit. And this is another song that's on the Cabin Fever album. And so when I lived in Austin, I think although I spoke pretty much like I speak now, when I sang with a much more of an American accent, and people would say, how is it you lose your accent when you sing? And I would say to them, but I don't lose my accent, I gain an accent. But anyway, so but for this song, I have to put on a bit of a sort of fake American accent, so please forgive me for that. But anyway, you'll hear why at the end. It's called One Trick Pony. I'm a one-trick pony, you're the only one I ever loved. I'm a lion tamer, such a shame you're made of weaker stuff. I walk the highway, ain't real fire, but you just played the clown. I'm a one-trick pony, all alone since you've been fooling round. 2 time in trouble, burst my bubble, you and your new friend. My crystal ball foretold it all, so now we're at an end. 'Cause I'm a one-trick pony, you're the only one I ever loved. I'm a lion tamer, such a shame you're made of weaker stuff. I walk the highway, ain't real fire, but you just played the clown. I'm a one-trick pony, all alone since you've been fooling round. Gave you my life, such a high price, wasted so much time. You're just a huckster out of luck, too bad this trailer's mine. Boo-hoo. 'Cause I'm a one-trick pony, you're the only one I ever loved. I'm a lion tamer, such a shame you're made of weaker stuff. I walk the highway, ain't real fire, but you just played the clown. I'm a one-trick pony, all alone since you've been fooling round. Three's a crowd and I'm too proud to do this anymore. So take that shady bearded lady and vanish out my door. 'Cause I'm a one-trick pony, you're the only one I ever loved. I'm a lion tamer, such a shame you're made of weaker stuff. I walk the highway, ain't real fire, but you just played the clown. I'm a one-trick pony, all alone since you've been fooling round. Yeah, I'm a one-trick pony, all alone with eyes wide open now. Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Couldn't pull off a yeehaw in a British accent.
The yeehaw is such a useful little item.
It is, I know. Yeah.
Sort of like y'all. Very useful word.
Yeah.
There was a folk club that I play at in Oxfordshire, very traditionally sort of English folk club, and they knew that I'd lived in Texas for a while, and they always got me to end the session by saying, "Y'all come back and see us again next week, you hear?" Anyway, over to you, Gary.
All right, I had the idea of doing something more up tempo after that last one too. So this is a song that I wrote probably 1971, and Donna used to sing this one with me. It's a kind of a silly song, and this one is a little louder. So I wanted to ask, was I too loud a minute ago, or was it okay? If this one gets too loud, let me know, because one other could be very loud if I don't have it. But this is called "Tell Me Now." Tell me now, and if you think it's the same, we'll go home. Yeah, go home. Oh, oh, go home. Well, we could take a little walk in the rain or go home. Yeah, go home. Oh, honey, it's a little home. I don't know what I would say. All I know is it's okay. Seems that all is fine and there's no fight. If I go alone, I will die of fright. But I'll sing. Tell me now, if you think there's a change, we'll go home. Tell me now, and if you think it's the same, we'll go home. Yeah, go home. Oh, go home. Well, we could take a little walk in the rain or go home. Yeah, go home. Oh, honey, it's a little home. I don't know what I would say. All I know is it's okay. It's a perfect day for perfect nights. If I go alone, I will die of fright. But I'll sing, I'll sing. Tell me now, if you think there's a change, we'll go home. Tell me now, and if you think it's the same, we'll go home. Yeah, go home. Oh, we'll go home. Well, we could take a little walk in the rain or go home. Yeah, go home. We could take a little walk Was the volume okay that time?
Yes, yes, it was
Okay,
fine.
okay.
So,
Hey, Chris Ritters. See, I'm saying hi to Chris, my friend.
yes. Hi, Chris. Hi, Sally. Hi, Art. It's good to
Art.
see you. Yeah. And Dave, did I ever say hello to you? If I didn't,
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
okay.
Great to see you. Glad to be here.
Wonderful. I'm glad to be that you're here too. So I'm also going to lighten the load a little bit. This is, I have no idea where this song came from, but one of my daughters helped me write it. And not, well, I guess now it was almost a decade ago. We went to see James Taylor at the auditorium local here. And one of the things he said, people were calling out the titles of his songs from the audience. And he'd say things like, well, I don't have that one, but I have this one. It's kind of the same. You know, they're all the same. And I went, no, they aren't. Well, this one really aren't. Where are all the Gretas and Marlenas? And all the Mae Wests, where are they? No one tells the boys, come up and see me sometime. That's all out of style nowadays. But I still long for old time steamy romance. It's satin gowns and stockings with seams. And men that wear trench coats and fedora hats. I wish they'd bring that all back. 'Cause I wanna be a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. I wanna whistle like Bacall and have 'em all eating from my hand. They put me on a pedestal, competing for my glance. I wanna be a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. Yeah, I like that one. Though I am a liberated woman, sometimes I prefer to be a tease. And when I see those starlets with eyes come hither soft, I could pull that off, it seems to me. See? And men would buy me clothes and bring me jewelry and open doors and pull me out a seat and then stand by politely until I'd sit, enjoy my sparkling wit, a little risque repartee with a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. I wanna be the party doll that upsets all their other plans. I know it isn't fashionable, but it's so elegant. I wanna be a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. Dietrich and Davis, they had it made. Mansfield and Monroe, hey, where'd they all go? I don't know. Well, the women we admire now in the movies are all doctors and lawyers and chiefs. They don't flutter their lashes or swing their hips. They don't pout their lips or sit on anyone's knee. And if they're in some older profession, they've all been reformed by Act 3. They've given up their cigarettes and champagne. I guess we've come a long way. But I sure miss the day of the femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. I wanna give the boys the eye, call some guy my honey lamb. I'd have 'em all in a spell, I'd have 'em in a trance. If I was a femme fatale, I would be sensational. I wanna be a vamp. Thank you.
Yeah. Fun.
She does look pretty vampy, doesn't she?
Yes. Who, she or me?
Oh, well, this lady here behind me.
I just noticed it just suddenly appeared. He just showed suddenly appeared.
That's a great song. I love that.
Really great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And you're right, very different. So yes, I thought I would do another one from my Cabin Fever album, and it's called My Secondhand Heart. I've been around the block at least a time or two. I've known love and I've known lust. I've known the deepest shade of blue. I cannot say my heart has never broken clean in two, but damaged hearts are stronger for the pain that they've been through. So I hope you won't be troubled by my less than perfect past, and I hope you can be happy with a second-hand heart. You look into my eyes, see things I hoped I'd left behind, chapters I've moved on from, wreckage from another life. I've risked and I've regretted, I've had my fingers burned, I've been hurt and I've been patched up from so many twists and turns. So I hope you won't be troubled by my less than perfect past, and I hope you can be happy with a second-hand heart. Finally you open up, speak of a sadder time, and it turns out that your heart is just as trampled on as mine. At last we've come to rest, two wandering souls no longer lost. Now the winding paths we've been on by some miracle have crossed. Your story strikes a chord in me, my pain you recognize. One bruised heart to another, take my hand, share my life. You see me, I'm far from troubled by your less than perfect past. And you're more than with my second-hand heart. Yeah, me, I'm far from troubled by your less than perfect past. And you're more than happy with my second-hand heart. Thank you very much.
Beautiful, Mandy.
Thank you.
Okay, this is one I wrote the words to last year, but I wrote the music back in the 70s. So I got this new saying that you can teach an old song new tricks. You can take something that you wrote a long time ago and make it new. The old divide is still alive. It never went away. We need someone to save the day. To save the day. list is long of those who've tried, and long of those who've died. Oh, why this great divide? This old divide. The nation's torn, its hope is worn, and patience is running thin. Can all this pain find an end? Why, oh why this old divide? There should only be one side, and every hate should have to hide until it has died. The nation's torn, hope is worn. Well, is the promise gone? No one alone can save the day. It'll take us all. And then the pain might go away. Might go away. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Well, I'm ready for the pain to go away, but I don't ever want us to forget this. So I have written, I mean, I left 100 in the dust a couple of months ago, songs during the lockdown. Oh, hi, Janet. Okay, now I'm not sure who won that prize because Janet's in Renana, which is a little bit north of Tel Aviv. So I guess you and Phil can kind of duke it out for who came the furthest.
Well, they're definitely farther than. But my brother Mark is in Alaska, and my brother James is in Connecticut. So we got a really widespread here. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not nearly as far as them.
I
But
have daughters like that. I have one in Florida and one in California.
That threw
I
me when
was,
I saw James Taylor appear and you were just talking
yeah,
about.
yeah,
right, yeah.
Wow.
It did kind of throw me too.
there he is. See,
Hey, James. You have a famous namesake. Did you know that?
he's also an awesome classical singer. This James,
Yeah.
Wonderful.
he teaches voice at Yale.
Wow.
Whoa.
Incredible.
Okay, we better mind our P's and
And
Q's.
I'm covered in paint right now.
Uh,
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I said I'm covered in paint right now.
Ah,
Been working
do
on
they
the
do
art.
that to all the voice teachers at Yale?
Yeah, it's usually tar and feathers, but they couldn't find it this year.
So, um, so doing, I mean, the way that I ended up doing all of those songs was, or writing all those songs was because I sought out every songwriting challenge that I could find online, and also every songwriting circle, which was also interesting. But I'm no stranger to that concept. Years ago, I did a class with a man who teaches at Berkeley School of Music and comes down to Austin every once in a while to run a workshop. And in this particular occasion, he had a student who was in New Zealand, and he called her up on FaceTime and put her up on a screen so we could all talk to her. And one of the things that she said was that she was doing this challenge where she writes a song every night for 2 weeks and puts it up online for her group to peruse. And all around the room, heads went up when she said it. And you could almost hear everybody thinking, I want to do that. So we did. And in the last 3 days of that very first songwriting challenge, I was flying to New York, which is where my California daughter was then. And I got on the plane and I pulled out my notebook and I thought, the tyranny of the blank page is real. And I looked at it and I thought, how's this going to happen? And then the woman next to me started to talk. And the rest is in the song. She says, flying is impossible. I sure hope she's wrong, 'cause we're on an airplane flying to New York City. And I'm writing this in shorthand so she cannot read the song, all about our conversation while flying to New York City. She says, not all that long ago, people walked where they were going. No one thought about flying to New York City. And people didn't move about as if they were leaves blowing in the wind, let alone flying to New York City. I say, I guess that makes it some kind of miracle that we still get on planes. She says, yes, 'cause flying is impossible, but it's still possible for us to have faith. This is where the flute plays. The song may seem like fantasy, but what can you expect? After all, we're flying to New York City, and I'm chatting with a stranger that I just met, and it's all about miracles and faith and flying.
That should be in a Broadway show, I think.
Yeah.
I hear that more often than you would think would be possible. I grew up on classical music and show tunes. So there it is, whether I will or no.
Wonder if she'll ever know that she inspired that song. Your
I
passenger.
didn't get her name.
It's great. So this is quite a song from a few years ago, but I think it must have been inspired by me living in Texas, because it is called Slick as Texas Oil. And I don't think I would have been aware of the sort of Texas oil fields. There's nothing to do with that really, it's just a metaphor, but anyway, it's linked to me being in Texas. Slick as Texas Oil.
Waited up for you all night, your promise ringing
my ears. But hope slowly faded till the breaking day brought nothing but a flood of bitter tears. I can't be the first one who believed in you, swallowed lies as slick as Texas oil. You said you'd walk away from her to be with me. Like a fool, I never doubted you at all. Up and down that room I paced 100 times. Thought I heard your car pull up outside. But wishing never changes cold reality. It's just imagination running wild. I can't be the first one who believed in you, swallowed lies as slick as Texas oil. You said you'd walk away from her to be with me. Like a fool, I never doubted you at all. Deep inside came words I could no longer ignore. Talk is cheap, you've heard it all before. I waited till the morning light showed you and I were just a fragile dream. Hope died, wounded pride, you chose her over me. But love never comes with guarantees. I can't be the first one who believed in you, swallowed lies as slick as Texas oil. You said you'd walk away from her to be with me. Like a fool, I never doubted you at all.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. So my brother has arrived, Jerry. Hi, Jerry. And my friend of many years ago, who we bumped into each other after not having seen each other for 36 years, Steve Appleby. And we're writing songs again. So hi, Steve. Lovely to see them. Anyway, thank you very much. And over to Gary.
All right. This is a song that I wrote just in the last, 3 or 4 months, based on a song prompt that was a picture of an old, collapsing, abandoned farmhouse. And so from that picture, we were just supposed to write a song. And so this is what I came up with. To everything they say, there is a season and a time, they say, for every purpose under heaven. And every house that grows into a home is is full of life until its season's done. And all things they say must pass. All things they say must pass away. And so it is with people, and so it is with homes. There's a season and a purpose, and then it's done. This old house was once a thing alive. And this old house could love and laugh and cry. They thought this old house would always survive. But this old house was once a thing alive. And all things they say must pass. All things they say must pass away. And so it is with people, and so with people's homes. There's a season and a purpose, then it's done. Thank you.
What a beautiful song to have gotten from that prompt.
Thank you. It looked a whole lot like that picture behind Rick.
Well, because Mandy's been doing so many about Texas, I'm going to do one about how I ended up living here, which was not the plan at the time. I thought I was going to San Francisco, but there was this left turn. Still not real sure what happened. And by the way, I have been on that Greyhound, not all the way as long as you did. It wasn't 2 days. It was from Nashville. But
it's a long old trek.
Yeah. Those things will just cross your eyes, sometimes permanently. But this was, I was in, they used to have people take other people's cars to their destination so that the person who owned the car could fly. And that's what I was doing. I drove 100 miles an hour through Kentucky bluegrass. Yeah, I know. I mean, the car was shaking before I noticed it, but I'd never been there before, and I was gobbling up the scenery at 100 miles an hour. Oops. Yeah. The whole way there, I lost track of how fast I was going because I was so wrapped up in what I was looking at, and I didn't get a ticket, which to this day, I think that's some kind of miracle. But I had met some people from Austin just before I left New York, and they talked about Austin as if it was paradise, and I thought, well, fine, I'll go see paradise on the way to San Francisco. And this is what ended up happening. Was this strange note. When I left New York City, I thought walls and lights were pretty. Wide open space, well, that was Central Park. And when I pulled into Austin, I thought soon I would be leaving. But a little bit of Texas got stuck here in my heart. Sky so big it scared me, but the people were so friendly. I kept putting off the date when I would depart for that west horizon, never realizing longer that I waited, the more leaving would be hard. When I finally hit the road on Highway 10, I said, so long, Austin, I won't be back again. But I missed Texas every day and every night. I missed Texas, even things I didn't like. I missed Texas, it was tearing me apart, 'cause a little bit of Texas was stuck here in my heart. Yeah, well. So there I am in LA, and I'm thinking I have it made. But every now and then my dreams would fall apart, and all the shoulders I could cry on were in some distant time zone. So I would cry all by myself for the breaking of my heart. Aww. Now I smile and shake my head, say, how silly can you get? What could I have been thinking to be wandering that far? And the man who walks beside me, I came back so he could find me. We're both firmly wed to the heart of the Lone Star. When I finally hit the road on Highway 10, I said, make room, Austin, 'cause I'm coming home again. 'Cause I missed Texas every day and every night. I missed Texas, even things I still don't like. I missed Texas, it was tearing me apart, 'cause a little bit of Texas was stuck here in my heart. Yes, I missed Texas, and I will never more depart, 'cause a little bit of Texas, right out of the middle, it's stuck here in my heart. Yeehaw.
Yeah,
See what I mean? Useful.
Very good. Excellent. Yes, I've still got a piece of Texas in my heart.
Yeah.
When I came back to England, so I have had a habit of rescuing dogs throughout my life, whether they've wanted to be rescued or not. And I worked at the UT Press when I lived in Austin as a copy editor. And on my way to work one day, I saw a very emaciated dachshund wandering along the road. And I realized she didn't belong to anybody. So I took her to work with me, put up posters, and nobody claimed her. And I ended up keeping her. And I also had a Staffy cross, a Bull Terrier cross, and two other dogs actually. But when I came back to England, I brought the Daxie and the Staffy back with me, and I found very good homes for the other two. It was just too much to take all four, and so when they left me, I was rather stuck on Dachshunds. And so I have two now who are asleep down behind me. And I have a website called wagslyrical.com that is about songs I've written about my dogs and other people's pets. And this is sort of the story of how I came by my two kind of, they're both rescues again, Silver and Chili. The Silver is a silver dapple, which is mentioned in the song. This is called the Lonesome Miniature Hot Dog Blues. I'm gonna have to tighten this. I need to tell you about this first of all. This is made out of, my harmonica holder is wooden. It's made out of an Irish whiskey barrel. So it smells very nice. I didn't make it, I bought it. I'm a silver dapple hound, couldn't be much lower down. My legs keep my body just a whisker off the ground. I got the lonesome miniature hot dog blues.
Wanna be a mean coyote or a wild Mustang pony, but I'm just a sausage dog who doesn't like to be alone. I got the lonesome miniature hot dog blues. Get down. I'm delicate and shy, ain't too much drives me wild. The postman with his mailbag, but he ain't been for a while. I got the lonesome miniature hot dog blues. I'd love to see my tail, I chase it every day, but my back end always seems to be too doggone far away. I got the lonesome miniature hot dog blues. Walk that dog. I got the lonesome miniature hot dog blues. Wish I didn't have a name that's quite so long, 'cause it makes me blue to hear the word pronounced so wrong. It's dachshund. Well, in England it is anyway. Not dachshund. Or it can be sausage dog or wiener if you're in America. Anyway, I got worry on my brow. I couldn't be much lower now. I've been alone all day and it's getting dusky now. I got the lonesome miniature hot dog blues. Now my woman's just arrived. She got something by her side. Another little dachshund I'm wagging with delight. No more lonesome miniature hot dog blues. One more time. I got the lonesome miniature hot dog blues. I got the lonesome miniature hot dog blues. I got the lonesome miniature hot dog blues. Yeah. Thank you very much. There's a YouTube. Thank you. I got a graphic artist to do a sort of cartoon version of me and my dogs, and that is the YouTube video of that. It's me and the dogs in cartoon version.
Here in Buda, they have a dachshund races.
Oh, I've had
all
seen a
over.
picture of that. Yeah, I've got a. I think it's of that and on a racetrack.
Right.
Yeah, the dachshund racing. Yeah.
I haven't been to it, but I hear it's fun.
Yeah.
This song is one I wrote after floating on the river. My family and I used to live up in the Dallas area, but we'd come down to the hill country every year and float on the rivers. And so a tree by the river inspired this song. There's a tree by the river, and it's lived 100 years. It sheds its leaves on the river, but it never sheds a tear. It's a home for so many, and it breathes into the air. It's alive and it's strong, but it doesn't know it's there. golden rays, and a young tree beside it never knows the light of day. There's a nest in the branches, in its shade sits a man. He's alive and he knows it, but he doesn't understand. The sun rises and the sun goes down, and it gets back up, but it sets back down. And once more it rises, but it falls again. And a man by a river thinks the earth must spin. Yes, the sun rises and the sun goes down, and it gets back up, but it sets back down. And once more it rises, but it falls again. And a man by a river thinks the earth must spin. There's a tree by the river, and it's lived 100 years.
That was beautiful. I need to do more floating. Yeah. So while I'm here, Gary, where are you going to be next, online or off? And where can people find you online?
If you'd asked me about a week ago, I had several. No, I don't have anything lined up right away. I will probably be back at Middleton Brewing, which is in San Marcos, pretty soon, and at New World Deli in Austin, but I just haven't got specific dates yet. And then my website is GaryFrankTaylor.com.
Ah,
That's to distinguish me from all the other Gary Taylors out there. So my middle name is Frank, so I just put that in there.
which explains why it took me an hour to find you.
Oh, I do have a Gary Frank Taylor musician page on Facebook and a Gary Frank Taylor YouTube channel. So you can also.
Great. Great. And Mandy, how about you? Where will you be next, online or off? And where can people find you online?
Well, I've got a few real live gigs coming up. I'm playing in Bracknell in the UK on the 24th of June at the Acoustic Couch, along with the Lost Trades, and they're headlining, and the Gillies. And I'm trying to think. Oh, and there will be I'm running a songwriters circle on the 4th of July on Zoom with 5 friends. So this sort of transatlantic session. So
Wonderful.
I'll put details of that on my website and on
Okay.
Facebook.
Or both of you put your websites in the chat.
My
Okay.
website is mandywoods.com as well, so I'll
Yeah.
put that up there.
So if your chat is not open, you're missing a whole nother universe over there. So open it up. There's messages up one side and down the other, as they say here. I've adopted a whole lot of Texas, I forget what you call those, but
Phraseology.
I didn't actually start using them until I was living in LA, and I miss Texas so much. That's when I started saying y'all.
The one I like was might could,
Might could, yes.
Or
Or
fixing
fixin'
to.
to.
Fixing to, yeah.
Yeah. But for me, it was those and y'all. Because while I lived here the first time, I swore I'd never say that. So while we're on the subject of websites, mine is at jancites.com, which is spelled exactly like you see it up there. And on there, you can find things like this, which is my most recent album. And it is, I'm going to do a song from it. It's got lyrics and a little backstory and illustrations that were a collaboration between myself and Vanessa Lively. I did the line drawings and she did the watercolors that backed them up and turned them into art because my line drawings were meager. And the first time she sent me back one with the watercolor behind it, I was just astounded. So go and check it out because you'll be astounded too. She's really good. And let's see, I'll do a song from Unsung, which is Bible stories you never got to hear, basically. I know. Or they were told by the person I considered not the best person to tell the story. Oops. Yeah, there it is. This is the one that goes with that picture I just showed you. He was a pious man. He was a brute. Best any man in a fight. Paid for my favors, 'cause he had to. I was Delilah, woman of the night. Something about the man drew me. It wasn't love, but I pulled him to me. He was company while I waited for the real thing, but it got complicated. I took him for my lover, afraid to refuse. And a girl gets tired of being alone. But he had enemies who wanted to use me, so I knew I was living in a danger zone. But something about the man drew me. It wasn't love, but I pulled him to me. He'd be company while I waited for the real thing, but it got complicated. No one asked me why I did it, 'cause they all thought they knew. Here's the reason between you and me. I only took the money 'cause it meant that I'd be free. I didn't believe him. 3 times he had lied the night he told me about cutting his hair. It sounded silly, so imagine my surprise. Now it's too late to decide that I cared. But something about the man drew me. I knew it wasn't love, but I pulled him to me. He'd be company while I waited for the real thing, but it got complicated. Now I've no company and no hope of the real thing.
Jen, your songs are really hard to come up with images for sometimes.
You couldn't find one of Delilah?
No, nothing that was, obviously Delilah.
Ah.
There was some famous singer or somebody, and so there were a million pictures of this famous singer. And so I would have had to page through a whole bunch.
Yes, you would. So Delilah gets a train scene instead, eh?
A train wreck. It's complicated.
Well, yeah.
So you said you have
Oh, it's complicated.
several songs that are like
Actually, I ended up with about 15 of them.
Wow.
And some were chosen by my producer above others. And one he nixed altogether because it was a little too over the top, tongue in cheek. And he said, it just doesn't, even the funny ones, it doesn't have the gravitas it needs. It was called Call Me Mummy, and it was about Moses' adopted mother. Sorry.
Da, da,
It's fun.
de lera.
Bye, Jimmy. That's my brother leaving.
Right, so you're talking of venues in Austin, reminded me of my love of the Omelette Tree on Burnett. And not that I ever played their music there, but I just loved their pancakes, basically, a short stack. And so I wrote a song about diners. Well, it's sort of love gone wrong in a diner, basically. And I always sort of have the Omelette Tree in mind when I sing it for some reason. It's called Table for Two.
Sitting alone at the counter again. Behind me's a table for two. What use have I for that second chair now? Now that I haven't got you. Oh, now that I haven't got you. This was the diner we came to that night, after I first danced with you. This was the place where we first really talked. It was there at that table for two. This is the diner I've come to for years. Now it only holds memories of you. And that night, and the fight that reduced me to tears, there at that table for two. It was there at that table for two. So I'm sitting alone at the counter again. Behind me is a table for two. What use have I for that second chair now? Now that I haven't got you. Oh, now that I haven't got you. There's a stool where I now always sit on my own, and all those around me, they're all so alone. At the counter I tend to think less about you than I would if I sat at that table for two. I come back to this diner most days. They serve the best heartache in town, and with it they give you unlimited tears to wash the bad memories down. They'll wash those bad memories down. So I'm sitting alone at the counter again. Behind me is a table for two. What use have I for that second chair now? Now that I that I haven't got you. Oh, now that I haven't got you.
That's beautiful, man. Well, I'm going to do one that I wrote a long time ago, and a friend of mine has now dubbed it my happy sad song, and and it was written years ago. About it had nothing to do with Donna passing, but it does kind of take on a new feeling now. But it was just about a teenager in love that at the time. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to go with it whether it's good or not. I see the road there, it must lead somewhere, down to the river and the falls. Look in the river, what do I see? One reflection, only me. Made up my mind to go out and find you, go down the river many miles. Loneliness hits me, 'cause I'm all alone, so I sing a lonesome song. Oh, I'm so lonely, and I need someone. I need you girl, come on. Come on. And once I find you, I wonder what you'll do. I know I'll find you down by the falls. Deep down below there is where you'd be. I look at you, you at me. Oh, I'm so lonely, and I need someone. I need you girl, come on. Come on, come on, come on and love me, girl, the way you used to do. Come on and love me, 'cause you know that I love you. Come on and love me, girl, I'm lost until you do. I gotta find my way to you. Oh, once I find you, I wonder what you'll do. I know I'll find you down by the falls. Deep down below there is where you be. I look at you and me. And from the sky comes a lonesome raindrop, but many follow that first one. I get to thinking many things. Oh, I'm so lonely, and I need someone. I need you only. Girl, come on. Come on, I said, oh, I'm so lonely, and I need someone. I need you only. Girl, come on. Come on, come on, come on.
Nice.
Thank you. I realize that's a very long song, so you can count that one as two.
No,
So
it's
y'all
okay.
just skip me next time.
No, it's okay. So something just happened, and I already have a song for it. We have the sweetest neighbors ever. I never expected to have neighbors like this, and so while we're doing this, I'm looking out my front windows, and I see our next door neighbor. My husband just cut the lawn yesterday, but his edger, like the thing that takes it off the side, it doesn't work. And so while I'm sitting here looking out the windows, I see my next door neighbor come over with his edger and edge our lawn, unasked. So back when the lockdown first started, I was doing these little mini concerts on the front porch. I took my cue from the folks in Italy. I thought that was a pretty cool thing. So I moved my keyboard out to the front porch, and I played pretty much everything I played for any recital or jury in my last year of college, which was the first time I'd played those pieces in I'm not going to tell you how long. But I got to know my neighbors a whole lot better than I did before. Even though they were more than at arm's length standing on the curb strip while this was happening. So I wrote a song about them, and that you'll get to meet the one who just edged our lawn. Across my street live Wade and Laurel, 4 kids in a lovely floral garden. Hybrid cars so they don't make too much carbon. Always there to do a friend a favor happily. They're good neighbors. Sue and Duke live one house further, wide veranda and a lawn he nurtures often. Glad to see you if you come a-knockin'. Sitting on the porch with the evening paper happily. They're good neighbors too. Here in the center of the universe, we've got everything we need in our little neighborhood. We've got it so good. Here in the center of the universe, there's everything we need. Our little neighborhood has got it so good. Knock on wood. Right next door live Kyle and Lindsay, family 4, warm and friendly people. Backyard full of chicks and goats and a beagle. Eggs and cheese, what could be greater? Happily, they're good neighbors. Yeah, they really are. By the way, I figured out that the reason that all of my neighbors have chickens is so I don't have to. Always glad to do a friend a favor. I'm happy to. I got good neighbors. Thank you. Boy, somebody's going to get a big bouquet of flowers today.
That's good.
Well, yeah, we got to know our neighbours much better in lockdown. And in fact, this weekend, my lovely neighbour Richard has been, well, he's been doing most of the work, to be honest. This cabin here is, as I say, it's at the bottom of the garden, but it had fallen into a bit of a state of disrepair when we bought the house. And he has been helping me reclad the outside of it all over the weekend.
Oh,
So
nice.
we finished the back today.
That's the other thing I think that's changed in this pandemic is that, you know, you were depending on everybody else to do what they were supposed to do. And I think for the most part, people stood up and served beyond the call of duty.
Absolutely. It really, there's a different sort of community spirit, really.
Yeah.
somehow.
Speaking of duty, I wanted to mention that there is a tip jar in the chat. It will be split 3 ways after the show, so please feel free to drop something that can be divided by 3 in the tip jar. And also, if the next show will be coming up in 2 weeks. If you'd like to be on the mailing list so that you know who's going to be here every time, I would be happy to do that. Just leave your email address in the chat. And our next show will be the fabulous Severin Brown and Tina Ross. And I'm pretty excited about that. So I would love for you to be here to witness it and tell all your friends and all that other good stuff.
Is this the last round?
I'm sorry?
Is this the last round?
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we can run a little bit over because nobody's waiting for the stage. But yeah, this is our last round.
You're saying about divisible by 3. I've got 2 brothers, and my granddad always, for some reason, used to give us, when they would come to visit, he would give us, the 3 of us, £2 between the 3 of us, and my mother could never quite work. So then we got quite good at, dividing that by 3. It was sort of like
That's why.
66.5 pence each.
That's right. You'll never forget that number either, will you? So, Gary, no, you don't get to skip the next song.
Okay.
So thanks so much, Jan, for inviting
Me too.
me to play at this. It's such fun. And for everybody for sticking around as well. It's been lovely to have friends come along and be here for the 2 hours. This is quite a new song of mine, and it's called Midnight Blue. It's quite a sort of a down song, but it was sort of mainly inspired by the color scheme of my living room. Sitting here alone, memories won't let go. Most nights around this time I get to feeling kinda low. A shade of midnight blue. Heart's been badly hurt, bridges sadly burned. Since you left it feels like everything around me's turned. A shade of midnight blue. And dark and so intense, it's faithful and familiar as a late night drinking friend. You're never coming back, there's no more me and you. The only thing remaining is a melancholy shade
shade of midnight blue. Didn't have the sense to try and make amends, and now I'm filled with deep regret that this is how it ends. A shade of midnight blue. Deep and dark, so intense. It's faithful and familiar as a late night drinking friend. You're never coming back. There's no more me and you. The only thing remaining is a melancholy shade of midnight blue. Midnight blue is all around me. It's in my heart and in my soul. It's a solitary state of mind. I never thought I'd know. Dark, so intense. It's faithful and familiar as a late night drinking friend. You're never coming back. There's no more me and you. The only thing remaining is a melancholy shade of midnight blue. A never-changing shade of midnight blue.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Really good. Well, trying to decide when it's your last song, when I have several to choose from, I could ask y'all, I've got an original instrumental or a vocal that's a cover. Do you have a, Jen, do you have a preference?
I do.
Okay.
I've heard your original instrumental and I loved it.
Okay, I'll do. I've got several, and this is probably the one you've heard. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. So before I do my last one, I wanted everybody to give a huge round of applause for Gary Taylor first,
Thank you. Thank you.
and for Mandy Woods, who came all the way from Glastonbury. Is that what you said?
Yep, I did.
Yes.
Can I
is-
say something too? I want to thank my brother Mark there from Alaska. I had no idea he was going to show up today.
Oh.
Thank you, Mark.
Aw.
And Lainey, my daughter. Thank you.
Well, I came all the way from the kitchen, so. So,
Whoa.
so this will be my last, and then we can all uncloak to say goodbye. Wouldn't that be lovely? And it's particularly dedicated to Janet and Phil. Although it wasn't written for.
I
It was
think
written.
Barry as well. Barry, I think Barry's with us.
Ah, and for Barry as well, then. It was written shortly after 9/11, prompted by the vision of George W. standing on a pile of rubble, promising us endless war. This was my response. In the chasm of our sorrow, let us not forget we are all believers in a truth stronger than death. Grant us healing for the suffering, comfort for the comfortless. Let us seek the light that built the dream to give us peace. In our pain, in our anger, let us still recall, though we're each of us a stranger, still we are kindred all. As we find ourselves in heroes, so we'll also find our flaws. let us find the strength that we will need to give us peace. In the anguish of our losses, let us not despair while the light of freedom shines. Let us choose our course with care, to leave the wheel of vengeance, forsake the path of fear, and let us seek the road to the true victory. To give us peace. Thanks. So, thank you very much, Gary Taylor, for being here. Thank you very much, Mandy Woods, for being here. Thank
Thanks,
you
Jen.
all for being here. It's such a pleasure to see you and sing for you and present these shows. It's really fun for me. So if everybody could uncloak to say goodbye, that would be wonderful.
I'd like to say, Jan and Mandy, I've really enjoyed listening to both of you. It's just wonderful.
Thanks, Gary.
Likewise.
Thank you for
listening to
having me.
both of you too, and it's been lovely to meet you.
And I also want to tell Roger, who I just saw get on, I am sorry that I did not put Central Standard Time on my post. So I know you're from California.
Oh dear.
Hey, Roger.
Well, do you want to sing one just for him?
Oh,
Yeah, go on.
You could always watch it. You could always watch it on Facebook.
Oh, that's right. It'll be on Facebook, and it's also on YouTube. On YouTube, it's on my channel, which is Jansides, / Jansides, because I don't know how to share that one, but it's shared to all three of our profiles on Facebook. So, Roger, I'm so sorry you didn't get the right time, but you can watch the whole show from Facebook.
It's all Gary's fault.
it is my fault.
It's
Sorry.
always good to have somebody to blame it on, isn't it?
It's a
Well, I
Zoom
think
Bye.
thing.
the picture post had the Central Standard Time on it, but then when I did the repost today, I forgot to put that on there.
Well, okay. Cynthia. So thank you all for coming. It's such a pleasure to see you.
Yeah.
I hope you have a wonderful rest of a Sunday or Monday if that's what's coming up for you.
Yeah, it'll soon be.
Thanks so much, Jan. Put these on. Theirs is fantastic.
Well into Monday over
And
here.
thank you, all of you, talented people.
I'm not
Thank
owed
you.
any thanks. I'm loving this.
Good night, everybody, and
Good night,
thank you.
everybody.
Hey, thanks, Jen.
I
Bye,
sure
Gary.
did.
Night. Thank you all.
Thank
Bye.
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 Thanks, Jen.
Mhm.